Welcome to Cheater Confessions. Let's get started with today's story. I met Olivia at a friend's engagement party, one of those rooftop bars downtown, full of people pretending to like each other and sipping overpriced cocktails. She stood near the bar in jeans and a plain white shirt. No makeup, her hair pulled into a ponytail. She laughed easily at something the bartender said, completely unbothered by the crowd's self-importance. I made some offhand remark when I walked up to her. Something forgettable, maybe even dumb. But it didn't matter. She smiled, and we started talking. She worked in architecture, hated seafood, and loved thunderstorms. We talked for hours that night, ignoring the people around us. By the end of it, I'd memorized the way she said my name, like she already knew me. We started dating the next week. 4 years flew by. We got married in the fall, small ceremony, lakeside cabin we'd rented in Vermont. We moved into a 2-bedroom house in Westfield. I did most of the remodeling myself. She picked the tiles. Olivia grounded me. She was calm, smart, and sarcastic when she wanted to be. We didn't fight much, never about serious things. We talked about having kids in a year or two. Life was moving the way it was supposed to. Then, a few weeks after our wedding, Mason showed up. Just a name and a story at first. Some guy she knew in college who'd moved back to the city. She ran into him one afternoon. Coffee, just catching up. No big deal. Or so I thought. The first time she mentioned Mason, it was casual. "Weird running into Mason today," she said, dropping her keys on the counter. "He's back in town, moved for work." I didn't even look up. Old friend? College friend. We dated for like 2 months. Nothing serious. She said it like it was nothing, and maybe it was. But after that, his name came up more than once. A couple of weeks later, she mentioned she'd grabbed lunch with him, said he'd been going through some things and needed someone to talk to. "What kind of things?" I asked. She hesitated. "Health stuff." He didn't go into details. I nodded, let it go. I didn't want to be the jealous husband. But after that, the late work nights started. Then it was dinner with our mutual friend Vanessa. Except Vanessa texted me the next day about a work trip in Chicago. So I waited. One Friday night, I was grilling steaks. Olivia was supposed to be home at 6. At 7:30, I called. No answer. At 9, she walked through the door. I didn't even ask, just pointed to the cold food. She didn't sit, just stood there, eyes glassy. I was with Mason. I crossed my arms. "You gonna tell me why?" She sat on the stool. "He's dying, Justin. He has late-stage liver failure. Doctors say maybe 6 months." I didn't say anything. "He doesn't have anyone here. No close family. Just me, I guess." "Why you?" "I don't know. Maybe because we were close once. Maybe because he feels safe around me." I leaned back against the counter, arms crossed. "Are you helping him or saving him?" She looked up. "I'm just trying to be there for someone who's alone." I nodded once. "All right, but I'm watching how this plays out." She looked down, then whispered, "I knew you'd say that." I didn't respond. Over the next couple of weeks, things unraveled. Olivia stopped coming home some nights, said she was staying with Mason after his treatments, helping him eat, monitoring his meds. At first, I told myself it was temporary, that she'd come back. But the more she was with him, the more she disappeared from our lives. One night, I waited up. She walked in around midnight, dropped her bag by the door like nothing was wrong. "You could have called," I said. "I was with him. He had a rough night." I stood. "You're married. To me. You remember that?" Her jaw tightened. "Don't make this about us right now. He's dying." I stepped closer. "Everything's about us. You being gone, lying about where you are, choosing to take care of another man instead of being here. That's about us." She dropped into a chair. "This isn't a love story, Justin. He's not trying to win me back. He's scared. Alone." "Then why are you acting like you owe him something?" "I don't know," her voice cracked. "Because I still care. Not in that way, just I couldn't live with myself if I turned my back on him." I stared at her. "So that's your answer?" "I don't want to lose you," she said quietly. "But I can't walk away from this." I nodded. "All right, then here it is. If you leave again, we're done. No pause button. No break. You walk out that door, you're not my wife anymore." She looked at me like I'd slapped her. "You're giving me an ultimatum?" "No, I'm giving you a reality check. This isn't charity work. This is emotional cheating dressed up as a noble cause. She stood, grabbed her purse. I need time to think. You had time, I said. Now make a decision. She hesitated, then walked out. No bags, no goodbye, just the quiet click of the door behind her. The next morning, I woke up to a message from Vanessa. She's doing what she thinks is right. Don't be cruel. I didn't reply. I just went for a run until my legs gave out. The first few days were brutal. The house felt like a crime scene. I boxed up some of her stuff, left the rest. I went quiet, worked late, slept on the couch most nights without realizing I'd fallen asleep. I didn't talk to anyone, not my family, not my best friend, Jake. I didn't want the sympathy. But Jake found out anyway, probably from something Olivia posted. One of those vague Instagram captions she used when she wanted attention without giving away details. He didn't call, just showed up at my place early Saturday morning with coffee. I stepped aside and let him in. He sat across from me at the kitchen table, watching me like he was trying to figure out how bad things were. After a while, I told him everything. He leaned forward, elbows on the table. He'd started looking into Mason, checking social media, asking around, trying to make sense of who this guy really was. He knew I wouldn't want to sit in the dark. And he was right. Jake called me the next evening. He'd been digging. Mason's Instagram was public, and what he found didn't line up with anything Olivia had told me. The guy didn't look sick, not even close. There were photos from a bar downtown just days ago, another at the beach with friends, holding a drink, a birthday party the week before, smiling in every shot. In one picture, he had a beer in his hand, a bold move for someone supposedly dying of liver failure. Not a single mention of any illness, not a word about treatment, and definitely nothing about Olivia. All I could think was, this is who she left me for. I took screenshots, saved them. 3 days after that, I got a call from Vanessa. I let it go to voicemail. Her voice was shaky. Justin, I don't know how to say this. Olivia found out Mason's been lying. There is no liver failure. He faked the whole thing. She kept talking. I didn't hear most of it, just sat there holding the phone. She showed up at my door the next night. No warning, just a knock. When I opened it, Olivia was standing there, face blotchy, eyes red. She looked smaller somehow, like the version of her I'd known had been replaced with a cracked replica. I shouldn't have come, she said, her voice hoarse, but I didn't know where else to go. I didn't move. You need something? I need to talk, please. I stepped aside. She walked in like she still lived there. She sat at the edge of the couch and stared at the coffee table. He lied, she said finally. There's no illness, no treatments, no, nothing. I stayed standing. I ran into one of his friends yesterday, she said. She mentioned he got promoted last month. I told her it must be hard with everything going on, and she just looked confused. That's when I knew. And you confronted him? I asked. She nodded. He admitted it, said he just wanted a second chance, that he knew you and I got married and it broke him. He said he made it up to pull me away from you. I raised an eyebrow. And it worked. Her eyes welled up. I was stupid. Yeah. She blinked at the bluntness. I sat across from her, arms crossed, calm, flat. You didn't just fall for it, Olivia. You left your husband. You chose a ghost story over reality. I thought I was helping someone who was dying. No, I said. You were running. You just needed a noble reason. She wiped her face. I regret everything. I don't care. That stopped her. She looked like she'd been slapped. You believed a liar over the man who built a life with you. You thought I was the villain for not supporting your sacrifice. Now you want what? She shook her head slowly. Just a chance to make it right. There's nothing left to fix. Earlier, I'd taken the time to box up most of her things, clothes, books. I handed them over without saying much and told her to pack whatever was left. She did, quietly. No drama. Just moved through the house like a stranger collecting souvenirs from a life that no longer belonged to her. As I opened the door, she whispered, "Do you still love me?" I looked her in the eye. Not enough to forget. Then I closed the door. 3 weeks later, I got the email. Subject line, "We need to talk. It's important." I almost deleted it without opening, but something made me read. It was short, direct. "I'm pregnant. It's yours. I have proof. I'm not asking for anything, just wanted you to know. Please let me explain. Attached was a PDF, results from an early DNA test. I sat at the kitchen table for 10 straight minutes, staring at the screen. Then I picked up my phone and texted her. Tomorrow, 6 p.m., Cafe Ellery. She replied within seconds. I'll be there. When I walked into the cafe the next evening, Olivia was already sitting at a corner table. She looked tired, hair pulled back, no makeup. I sat down. You're sure? She nodded, pulled out the test results again. I didn't know until after everything with Mason blew up. I was late. I thought it was stress at first. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't know how, and I wasn't sure you'd believe me after everything. I kept my hands on the table. I'm not here to fight, she said. I'm not asking you to fix anything. I just thought you deserved to know. And what do you want? To co-parent. Honestly, whatever that looks like. She paused. I know I lost you, but I haven't lost this child, and I don't want to go through it alone. I nodded once. I'll be involved. Doctor appointments, whatever the baby needs. But that's all. She looked down, quiet. You really don't think there's a chance? No, because if Mason hadn't lied, you'd still be with him right now. That hit hard. She didn't deny it. I don't hate you, Olivia, I added, but I don't trust you, and that's worse. She wiped her face. I'll respect whatever boundaries you need. I just hope, someday, maybe? I stood. Hope doesn't fix broken glass. Then I walked out. It's been 7 months since that conversation at the cafe. Olivia and I have kept things civil. We meet for appointments. We've even picked out a name, something neutral, something neither of us has emotional ties to. It's strange, planning a life with someone you no longer trust. But I made a promise to be there for the child, and I'm keeping it. She's gone quiet on social media. No long messages, no surprise visits, just short texts. Ultrasound tomorrow, 3 p.m. Doctor wants to discuss delivery options. Straight to the point. I appreciate that. Meanwhile, I've moved forward. It wasn't planned. Nothing ever is, really. But I met someone. Her name is Claire. We work together. She's in project management. Sharp, funny, no time for drama. I told her the whole story before we ever got serious. Sat across from her in a quiet bar one night and laid it all out. When I finished, she didn't flinch, just said, well, sounds like you know exactly what you don't want. That's something. Now, I'm building something new. Not with regret, not with revenge, just with clarity. I know what I expect, and more importantly, I know what I won't tolerate ever again. A few nights ago, Olivia asked if we could take a walk after the birthing class. It was quiet, cold. I've been thinking a lot, she said, about everything I threw away. I didn't respond. You were the right person, Justin. I didn't see it until it was too late. I looked at her. No, I said. You saw it. You just didn't value it. She nodded. No tears this time. No rebuttal. Just silence. And in that moment, I knew I didn't need anything from her. Not closure, not apology, not even forgiveness. I already had what mattered. My peace, my power. Maybe she cheated. Maybe she didn't. I'll never know for sure, and honestly, I don't need to. That part of my life is behind me now. The baby was born 2 weeks early. A girl. I held my daughter 30 minutes after she came into the world. We stayed in the hospital for 2 days. After that, I drove them to Olivia's place, a small condo she'd moved into a few months back, across town near her sister. She'd been living there ever since the fallout with Mason. I helped carry the stuff, set the bag down by the door. She thanked me. I nodded. A month later, the divorce was finalized. The paperwork had been sitting with our lawyers for months. I kept the house. I'd paid for most of it, and she didn't contest it. We set up a custody plan through the courts, split time evenly, everything documented. Olivia and I speak only when we need to. It works, and that's the real ending. No dramatic reunion, no slow fade back into what used to be. Just a man who lost something, learned everything, and walked forward without looking back. Thank you for watching.